Hey guys, alright, so welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to come and do a review and talk a little bit about this palette that I've been using in the last few makeup tutorials that I've been doing. Again, it is called Aesthetica, and I think and hope that I'm pronouncing their name correctly. This is their cream contour kit, and this is how the outside of the packaging looks. I love the packaging. It is so cute. It looks glamorous and expensive like. So very nice packaging. So inside you get a brochure. It also comes with instructions on how to actually contour. They do give a lot of background on how to contour your face, how to bring out the cupid's bow, highlight those cheekbones, and just it goes really in depth. So I do like this aspect of it. They also have a diagram on the back that shows you the different types of face shapes. So depending on your face shape, it has like a little outline of where you should apply the darker colors versus where you should apply the lighter colors. So that is really neat and very handy. Okay, so I did use this palette a couple times. You guys saw me use this in my makeup tutorial. I just put it back together so that you can see how it would look if you were to purchase it and all of the things that it will come with. So inside is another little sheet here, and you can see where they actually place the lighter colors and the darker colors on her face, and you can actually see what type of face shape she has. So that's really cute. And then inside you have a mirror on this side of the palette, and on this side you have 6 different shades of creamy concealers for you to highlight with, conceal with, and also contour with. Okay, what I do like about this palette is that these pans, these individual pans, actually pop out. So they are magnetized. If you guys wanted to just build your own palette, create your own palette, just get different shades of these little pots, then you could actually do that. Or if you just wanted to pop out the shades that you actually use on yourself and may not use the other shades, you can put them in your traveling palette. So first we're going to go into the pros of the palette. Of course, the pros of the palette is that you get several shades into one palette, okay? Several different shades. So the top row, I really don't get much use out of it because, again, I'm using this for my personal use. I'm not using it on clients or anything like that, so I don't get much use out of that. I only get use out of the bottom row here. I highlighted with this color. This color here is a good, concealer color. So if I needed to spot treat or anything like that, I can use this for that. And then this is kind of okay to contour with. It's not dark enough or not rich enough for me to actually contour and then show up because it blends almost into my skin. It's just a little bit darker than what I would like as a foundation or concealer color, but this one I can't really contour unless I'm just going for something very light, very subtle. That's what I can use this for. The great thing about the palette is that the concealers are very creamy. They are very creamy. It's like as soon as you put your finger into the palette, you don't have to take time to warm it up, to make it creamy. As soon as you touch it, it feels moist. It just feels almost like a liquid concealer, but in a cream form, if that makes any sense. It is very creamy. Very creamy. I love the way it applies, and it just blends out like a dream. It doesn't take more than your finger to blend it out. You don't need a brush. You don't need a beauty blender. You don't need anything. It just blends out like a foundation almost. So it's very creamy, very smooth, very moisturizing to the skin. So if you have dry skin, this would benefit you. If you have oily skin, you definitely will probably have to use a primer for this because it's so creamy. It probably slides and moves a lot. It doesn't just apply and stay put. You would definitely have to set it. Make sure you prime your face. Set it with the powder so that it doesn't crease and doesn't move because the product is so creamy. It does cover like a dream. It's buildable, so if it's not enough coverage for you per se, you can always build the concealer or whatnot, but I think they're very opaque and they do have great coverage, okay? The only thing I don't like about the palette, and this is where the con comes in, when I buy concealer palettes, I would like to be able to color correct, conceal, highlight, and contour all out of one palette. If I'm buying a cream concealer palette, I would like to have all of that in one palette. Now, I don't generally like to use or show other products in a review video, especially when I'm talking about one particular brand, but I think the only way that I'll be able to get my point across is for me to show you guys the palette that I'm actually talking about, okay? Now, what I mean about being able to conceal, color correct, highlight and contour all out of one palette. I should have a shade for color correcting. I should have a shade for concealing. I should have a shade for highlighting and a shade for contouring. All in one palette. That's what we like to buy palettes for, to be able to get the most use out of a palette. But this one here, if you can see, it has a shade for me to highlight with. It has this coral shade for me to color correct with. It has a concealer shade for me. In this bottom row, I have 3 different shades that I can contour with, and they're all rich and deep in color for me. So this company actually sells different palettes for different skin levels. So if you're light and fair, if you're medium to dark, if you're deep and dark, they have different palettes or different colors that they offer to those skin colors or skin complexions, which is a plus for a company. I would have preferred this to come in different ranges like that. I prefer like a light, a medium to dark, and I don't think this company offers that. So if you're very, very deep in complexion, you're very rich in chocolate color, I don't think you will get much use out of this palette either. Now, if you're just getting it to build your makeup kit, then this is perfect for you because you have a lot of colors in there to work with. You can also mix them. When it comes to contouring, you probably can't contour too many dark ladies with it, too many deep, rich chocolate women with it. You probably can't get much contouring out of that because this, like I said, this shade here, it doesn't do much for me. And I know there's a lot of different darker brown complexions out there that are darker than me that will not be able to get use out of this to contour. It is a contour kit, so people are looking for this to contour, to be able to highlight and contour with. So if you're darker in complexion, you won't get much use out of this palette because of the color range, okay? So that is the only problem that I have with this palette. Other than that, the actual concealer is pretty good. It's pretty darn good. I love the moistness and the creaminess of the concealer. It doesn't feel like it's going to dry out or anything. And it's very, very creamy. Very easy to apply underneath the eyes and just blend out with your fingers. So the product is darn good, okay? So I would say if I had to rate this just on the product itself, I would give it a 10. But if I had to rate it based on its, let's see, if I had to rate it based on whether or not, if I was a deeper complexion girl, I probably wouldn't like it as much. I wouldn't get as much use out of everything this palette has to offer. That's the only thing that turns me off about palettes, when I'm not able to use or get the most use out of the entire palette when I'm purchasing the entire palette. So that's my only thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope I made this clear, pretty self-explanatory to you guys. I absolutely love the packaging. It's gorgeous, okay? And until Aesthetica, if you guys are watching this video, I absolutely love the palette. Love everything about it. The quality is there. I just wish that you guys will offer a palette that has more color range for different skin complexions. So this one fits or suits some of the complexions, but not many of them, okay? I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Stay flawless, boo.